What if the most dangerous crimes in the world weren't hidden in dark alleys, but happening right in front of everyone? Private jets crossing continents, luxury islands hidden in plain sight, rooms filled with the most powerful people on Earth. And at the center of it all, a man whose secrets may never fully be uncovered. Jeffrey Epstein wasn't just another wealthy financier. He was something far more unsettling. He was connected. He was protected. And for decades, he appeared untouchable. But behind the image of wealth and influence was something much darker. A system built on silence, a pattern of abuse, and a network that raised questions no one has fully answered. Even now, one question still lingers. How deep did it really go? Epstein's story doesn't begin with power. It begins quietly. A former school teacher with no clear credentials to explain what came next. And yet, somehow, he entered the world of high finance. Not gradually, not transparently, but suddenly. He moved among billionaires, managed vast sums of money, built relationships with people who operated at the highest levels of power. And here's the part that still confuses investigators. No one can clearly explain how he accumulated his wealth. There was no major public firm, no visible empire, no clear track record. And yet, he lived like someone who controlled everything. Mansions in New York, a private island, a jet that would later become infamous. But wealth wasn't his most valuable asset. Access was. Because Epstein didn't just surround himself with powerful people, he embedded himself among them. Politicians, business leaders, royal figures, celebrities. His circle wasn't accidental. It was strategic. Access to influence creates protection, and protection creates silence. But behind closed doors, a different reality was unfolding. For years, allegations surfaced quietly, often dismissed, sometimes buried. Young girls spoke of recruitment schemes, of being approached with promises, money, opportunity, a better life. But what they entered was something else entirely. A pattern began to emerge. This wasn't random behavior. It was structured. Victims described a system, one designed to recruit, condition, and control. And at the center of that system, one name kept appearing: Ghislaine Maxwell. Maxwell wasn't just an associate. She was the bridge. The one who made everything appear normal, approachable, trustworthy, safe. She moved within elite social circles with ease, introduced young girls into Epstein's world, and according to testimony, it played a key role in maintaining the system. Together, they didn't just exploit individuals. They created an environment where abuse could continue unchecked, hidden behind status, protected by influence, and ignored for far too long. In 2008, the world got its first real glimpse behind the curtain. Epstein was arrested. For a moment, it seemed like accountability had finally arrived, but what followed shocked even seasoned observers. Instead of a severe federal sentence, he received a plea deal, one that allowed him to serve minimal time, one that granted immunity to potential co-conspirators, and one that kept many details out of the public eye. To victims, it felt like betrayal. To the public, it raised a chilling question. How does someone facing such serious accusations walk away with so little consequence? For many, there was only one explanation: power. Because systems don't fail like that by accident. After serving his sentence, Epstein returned almost seamlessly to his previous life. His connections remained intact. His wealth is untouched. His access unchanged.
Private jets continued to fly. Elite gatherings continued behind closed doors, and the whispers grew louder. Who knew? Who enabled it? Who chose to look the other way? Because Epstein wasn't operating in isolation.
He existed within a system, one where influence blurred the lines of accountability. And in that system, silence wasn't just common, it was necessary. In 2019, everything changed. Epstein was arrested again, but this time, the world was watching. The charges were serious, the scrutiny was global, and the pressure was impossible to ignore. Victims began speaking again. Stories that had once been dismissed resurfaced with force. Details emerged that painted a clearer and more disturbing picture. For the first time, it seemed possible that the full truth might come out, that the network might finally be exposed. And then, everything stopped. Epstein was found dead in his jail cell. The official ruling, suicide. But almost immediately, the questions began. How did surveillance fail? Why were standard procedures not followed? How could someone under that level of scrutiny be left unmonitored? To many, it didn't add up. Because the one person who held the answers, the one person who could have named names, was suddenly gone. And with him, potentially, the truth. In the aftermath, speculation spread rapidly. Online forums, documentaries, viral discussions. Some believed powerful individuals intervened. Others saw it as a systemic failure. But separating fact from assumption is critical. There is no verified evidence linking Epstein to multiple murders. What is confirmed is already deeply disturbing. A pattern of exploitation, a network that enabled it, and a system that failed to stop it sooner. And in the age of information, speculation can grow faster than truth. The story didn't end with Epstein. Ghislaine Maxwell was later convicted for her role. Court documents revealed more details, more connections, more unanswered questions. Names surfaced, reputations were challenged. But even now, many believe the full story remains incomplete. Because networks like this don't operate alone. They rely on layers, connections, influence. Silence. Jeffrey Epstein is gone, but the questions remain. How much did he hide? Who else was involved? And how much of the truth will never be uncovered? Because sometimes, the most disturbing mysteries aren't the ones hidden in darkness. They're the ones visible to everyone, but understood by almost no one. Hidden not by secrecy, but by power. If this story made you think differently about power and accountability, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because every case leaves a shadow, and every shadow has a story. This is Shadow Case Files.